Hello everybody, my name is Thomas and welcome back to Thomas's Tutoring. In the previous video, which was a long time ago and I apologise for the not uploading, we went over a decimal to fraction trick, which means that you will never get decimals to fractions wrong again. Unless you just forget, in which case why did you forget? Or if you didn't pay attention, and why wouldn't you pay attention? But anyway, before we get into the video, I have some really important news. Look at these statistics. 91.3% of my viewers are not subscribed from the last 28 days. That is an appallingly high number of you who are not subscribed. So do make sure to subscribe because it does help me out a ton and it's free and you can always change mine later. But without any further ado, what is multiplication of numbers through square numbers? So multiplication of numbers through square numbers is if you have, for example, 27 times 31. How can you easily solve this without using column method? Do 27 squared at 27 times 4, which should make it easier. Because if you know 27 squared, you don't have to do 27 squared times 27 squared. You just know 27 squared is like, say, 459. I know it's not. That's just a random number I've made up. And then you can just do 27 times 4, which is obviously going to make it a lot easier. And this is why learning your squares up to 100 are so crucial. And knowing them can make harder multiplication easier. We're only going to go up to 65 though, for a reason explained later on. So, squares of numbers 1 to 65. Now, first you might be thinking, what on earth is this table? N squared, N squared, N squared, N squared. So the N and N squares up the top is just saying a number, that number squared. 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 So if I were you, I would take a screenshot of this because this is honestly super helpful. You don't have to take a screenshot of it if you don't want to, or you can take notes of it because that can also help. But basically, I'm going to go over them. You should know your squares up to 12 already, but I'm still going to go over them. And I'm only going to go the square numbers. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144. So you should know your squares up to 12. So then you go 13 squared is 169, 14 squared is 896, 15 squared is 225, 16 squared is 256, 17 squared is 289, 18 squared is 324, 19 squared is 361, 20 squared is 400. So knowing your squares up to 20 can help. And the main ones you need to know is 13, 16, and 20, because from there you can sort of navigate it. Because there's, I always find patterns in maths, and that is from 0 squared is 0. You add 1, you add 3, you add 5, you add 7, you add 9, you add 11, you add 13, so on and so on. You add on all of the odd numbers from the previous one. And so you could do 256 times that divided by 4, some weird formula. But just know 20, 18, 16, 15, and 13, and you should know them all. You should be able to know your squares up to 15, maybe 16 as well. But anyway, so 21 squared is 441, 22 squared is 484, 23 squared, 529, 24 squared, 576, 25 squared, 625, and 26 squared is 676. 27 squared is 729, not 459, 729. You could also view it as 81 times 9, because it's 3 times 9 squared, 3 squared times 9 squared, so you could also view it like that. 28 squared, 784, 29 squared, 841, 30 squared is 900. So the key ones from 20 to 30 are 20, 22, 25, 27, and 30, because you can sort of navigate between those. 31 squared is 961, 32 squared, 1024, 33 squared, 1089, 34 squared, 1156, 35 squared, 1225. So you should realise that they're going up by like in the 70s now. So they're going to be skipping like hundreds almost every other one. 36 squared, 1,296. 37 squared, 369. 38 squared, 1,444. 39 squared, 1,521. 40 squared, 1,600. The key ones from 30 squared to 40 squared are 30, 32, 35, 37, 39, and 40. So if you remember 30, 32, 35, 37, 39, and 40, you'll be able to know your squares from 30 to 40 pretty much simply. Like simple. Anyway, 41 squared is 1,681. 42 squared, 1,764. 43 squared, 1,849. 44 squared, 1,936. 45 squared, 2,024. 46 squared, 2,116. 47 squared, 2,209. 48 squared, 2,304. So now you can see that they're going up by like 95, so they're pretty much always going to be skipping hundreds. 47 squared, 2,209. 48 squared, 2,304. 49 squared, 2,401. 50 squared is 2,500. So the key ones from 40 to 50 are 40, 42, 44, 45, 47, 49, and 50. Remember those. 51 squared is 2,601. 52 squared is 2,704. 53 squared is 2,809. 54 squared is 2,916. 55 squared is 3,025. 56 squared is 3,136. 57 squared is 3,249. 58 squared is 3,364. 59 squared is 3,481. And 60 squared is 3,600. 5 more to go. But the key squares from 50 to 60 is 50, 52, 54, 55, 57, and 60. And then the last 5, 61 is 3,721. 62 is 3,844. 63 squared is 3,969. 64 squared is 4,096. And 65 squared is 4,225. So yeah, if you just remember those last 6, so to speak, 60 to 65, you'll do fine. But why learn all of these? You don't, you just have to know pretty much the borders. So why those numbers were important? Most sums at the beginning won't be over 65 times 65. But if they are, they're going to be 3-digit numbers multiplied by small digit 2-digit numbers. Like say 824 times by 12. They're going to be quite small 2-digit numbers. And 65 will probably be the highest of the lower number, but the highest value of that part, so the lower number. There will be sums later on that are in the hundreds, like 718 times 346. But you can solve those with column method, which is going to be easier than 64 times 28 with column method. Like, I'll give you an example. How many seconds are in 2 1/4 days? That's an example of the 718 times 346. It's like 3,600 times like 51.6, I think. And another reason is the limits of PowerPoint won't let me draw a table more than 10 times 14. 10 across, 14 down. So yeah, that's one of the limits of PowerPoint. And how to solve this short multiplication. So 29 times 35. So 29 squared is 841. 841, where's 29 squared? 841 here. And then 6 times 29 is 174, or 120 at 54. So you add them together, and you get 1,015. That's simple, right? So now I'm going to quickly flick back before we solve for exercise 1 to this grid, and you just take a screenshot of it so you have reference for the exercises. Okay, hopefully you've screenshotted it by now. So now we'll move on to exercise 1. Solve for 41 times 47, and you'll have 15 seconds in which to do so. Make sure to use your reference material. Your 15 seconds starts now. Okay, so that's 15 seconds up. 41 squared is 1,681, and 6 times 41 is 246, which means our answer is 1,927. For our second exercise, solve 54 times 51. You'll have 15 seconds to do this using your reference material. Your 20 seconds start now. 15 seconds start now. Okay, so that's about 15 seconds up. 51 squared, 2,601. And 3 times 51 is 153. Your answer is going to be 2,754. So for exercise 3, solve 40 times 46. And you should only have 10 seconds because 40 is the lower number. 10 seconds start now. Ten seconds are up. 40 squared, you should know off the bat, is 1,600. And 640 is 240, pretty simple. 1,840 as your final answer. So for our fourth exercise, penultimate, 33 times 37. And as a bonus, for a bonus mark, tell me what kind of number it is, the name of the number. Like, not the answer, but it has like a specific name. You'll have 15 seconds starting now. So that's about 15 seconds up. 33 squared, 1,089. 4 times 33 is 1,132. And added together, you see the result of 1,221. And this specific type of number is what's known as a palindrome. A palindrome is a number that written back to front is the same. So say you had the time 20 past 2, that backwards is going to be 20. Wait, what? Yeah. It will be 20 past 2 backwards. Same as 11 past 11. That will be 11 past 11 backwards. That's what's known as a palindrome. You can also have phrases like wet stew when you're backwards, or even race car. Words like that. And finally, exercise 5, solve 16 times 21. You should know 16 squared because it was one of those crucial numbers. And you'll have 15 seconds starting now. So that's about 15 seconds up. 16 squared is 256, 5 16s is 80, 336. See, I knew that one. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, you should be able to memorize your squares up to 20. You should be able to know those off the bat, like a click of a finger. And anyway, that is all I have prepared for today's video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I would really appreciate if you would drop a subscription, leave a like in the video if you did enjoy and you did learn something, and check out the videos on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one.